Today we're doing something really interesting. We're taking a close look at a recent FC Barcelona preseason match. And look, this isn't just going to be a score recap. We're really aiming to unpack what this specific game and the insights we've got from our sources tell us about Barca's immediate future. And maybe more excitingly, or perhaps even terrifyingly, the emergence of some seriously impressive new talent.
That's right. Our whole mission here is to pull out the key takeaways from a really detailed match debrief we looked at. We want to figure out what really stood out, connect the player performances we saw, the team strategy, and of course, the legendary La Masia Academy. And what makes this game quite useful, I think, is that it was Barca's first game back after 2 months off, against Vissel Kobe, who were already midseason, fit, sharp. That difference gives us a pretty unique window into player readiness, team dynamics, right from the get-go.
Okay, so let's dive right into that first half then. You mentioned the conditions, Barca rusty, Vissel Kobe sharp. How quickly did that play out on the pitch? The source mentioned Vissel Kobe trying to, suffocate Barcelona early on.
Oh, very quickly, yeah. You could see Vissel Kobe's rhythm, their high-impact style. It definitely caused problems for Barca straight away. There were moments for sure where the Japanese team's, let's call it freshness, made it tough for Barca. Pressing, winning the ball back, they put Barca under some real pressure.
Right. And offensively, even though Barca kind of settled down and had a lot of the ball, they didn't create much, did they? The source noted very little direct danger in that first half.
No, not much at all. And that's where some individual struggles really came into focus in the debrief we saw. Kubarsi, for example, had a difficult half, a bit wasteful, some poor clearances apparently, and then that really critical ball loss near the center circle, last defender, led straight to Vissel Kobe's equalizer.
Ouch. That's tough for a young defender.
It is. And then you had Lamine Yamal, started brightly, loads of energy, but the source clocked him with 15 ball losses. Maybe trying to dribble a bit too much, perhaps, trying to make things happen. Though, to be fair, the analysis did kind of defend him, saying, it's just preseason, he's just back.
Sure. Context is key. Anyone else having a tough time?
Well, Ferran Torres was described as basically invisible, barely got involved. And Rafinha on the other wing also had what the source call a complicated game. On the flip side, Vissel Kobe's left back, Nagato, got a mention for playing really well defensively against them.
Okay, so a real mixed bag in that first half. Sounds like the rust was definitely showing for some key players. But it wasn't all negative, right? Who stood out in a good way?
No, absolutely not all negative. There were definite bright spots. Pedri, for one. The debrief described him as extraordinary, called him a frisson player, gives you that buzz. He seemed to dictate everything. Turns under pressure, killer passes, calm things down, just ran the midfield. Honestly, it was like he hadn't had a vacation or any injury issues, just bang, straight back to that incredibly high level.
That's just Pedri, isn't it? Incredible consistency. It's almost expected now, but still amazing to see after a break.
It really is. And he wasn't the only one. Eric Garcia was noted as very good. He even got Barca's goal, didn't he? Scramble from a corner. Inigo, also mentioned as very good. Balde showed some good moments too, especially his runs forward. Looked interesting when Rafinha cut inside, opening space for him.
Okay, good signs defensively and in midfield structure then.
Yeah, and the keeper too, Joan Garcia. Had a good game overall, made a beautiful save. Good coming off his line. Couldn't do anything about the goal he conceded, apparently.
Right, and his performance ties into something else the source mentioned, doesn't it? About Ter Stegen.
Ah, yes. That was an interesting point in the debrief. It connected Joan Garcia playing well to the, let's say, reported situation with Ter Stegen. The source claims he's not exactly popular with some fans right now for apparently blocking the club a bit, announcing a 3-month injury quite suddenly, supposedly to prevent being deregistered so the club could sign someone else.
Deregistered, so taken off the official squad list to free up a spot.
Exactly. In leagues with strict squad registration rules, like La Liga, every spot counts. If that reporting is accurate and his injury announcement was timed that way, well, it definitely shines a spotlight on the whole goalkeeping situation. Puts a bit of pressure on, maybe, highlights that competition.
Interesting dynamic there. So wrapping up the first half,
Yeah.
complicated, some offensive struggles, individual errors.
But also signs of defensive solidity, decent ball progression from the back, pressing, recovery work, definitely potential there.
Okay, but then the second half, the source used the word terrifying. That's quite a shift. What on earth happened? Complete change of lineup.
Complete change. And yeah, terrifying is the word they used. It was a stark contrast. And the central theme, really the headline for the second half, was the just constant stream of talent emerging from La Masia. The debrief was really strong on this, saying, and I'm quoting loosely here, "Every year, someone pops up from La Masia seemingly out of nowhere and just blows everyone away. This game felt like Exhibit A."
Right. This is where it gets really exciting. Let's get into these kids. First up, Pedro Fernandez, born 2008. That's
Yes.
incredibly young.
16 years old, yeah. And the description was incredible entry. Highlighted his acceleration, being solid on his feet, great shot, good passing, vision, and he scored.
He scored on his debut. Wow.
Yeah, and this led to that very bold claim in the source. It's no longer La Masia, it's a massacre of Europe.
Okay, massacre of Europe. That's the
Okay.
statement. What's behind that? Is it just hype, or is there something genuinely different happening?
Look, it's strong language, obviously, but I think it reflects a feeling that La Masia isn't just producing players, it's producing them so consistently and they're impacting games so quickly that it maybe challenges the whole model of just spending huge sums in the transfer market. It's like a production line that just keeps delivering. Think about Bernal last year or Casado before that. There's a pattern.
That's a fair point. It does feel relentless. And Dro wasn't the only one.
Not at all. Then you had Roony Bardi. They signed him for, what, $2 million? Described as having a super entry as well. Drops deep, plays with precision, great vision, dribbles, takes players on, provokes fouls, and scored a magnificent goal, assisted by Lewandowski.
Okay, Bardi. The source nicknamed him something quite ambitious, didn't he?
Did. The Swedish Messi. High praise indeed. But they noted his play was just clean, fluid, very effective, looks the part.
Incredible. And who else from the young crop impressed? You mentioned Rashford.
Yeah, Ansu Fati, referred to as Rashford in the source notes, perhaps due to a similar playing style or maybe just a slip. But his performance was noted as a very good match for a return. Described as generous, mobile, really applied himself, worked hard, defended, made good runs, good touch. The source said he just looked happy to be out there playing.
That's great to hear for him. So these youngsters came on and just changed the whole energy.
Completely. But it wasn't just them. The whole second half unit clicked. Christensen at the back, described as imperial, always in the right place, covering, intercepting, containing attackers, really commanding.
Solid foundation then.
Exactly. And Frankie de Jong had a top performance. Loads of energy in the press, winning the ball back, clearing danger. Casado was mentioned as equally good alongside him. Led the source to speculate, could we see a Pedri de Jong Casado midfield trio more often? It looked promising.
Interesting. What about up front? Lewandowski got an assist.
Yep, good assist for Barbi's goal, and generally made good decisions, linked play well. And Torrens also got a mention as being very good.
Okay, so a lot of positives. But there was one player mentioned with a mixed review, Daniel Olmo.
Yeah, Olmo. The source was quite honest, actually. Admitted a bit of a personal struggle watching him in this game. Noted quite a few ball losses, some failed passes, questionable decision-making at times. Acknowledged some good moments, too. But overall, it sounds like a performance that left them wanting more.
Right. So putting it all together, that second half.
Yeah.
The pressing, the intensity.
It was terrifying, like the source said. For Vissel Kobe, anyway. Barca's pressure, their combinations, the sheer intensity just completely overwhelmed the Japanese side. They apparently couldn't even get the ball out of their own half cleanly. Everyone pressing, everyone tracking back. It was described as a magnificent half of football to watch from Barça.
So let's bring this home for you, the listener.
Right.
End result. A 3-1 win for Barcelona. Successful return against a team that was match fit. Now, okay, it is preseason. The source rightly cautions against drawing hasty conclusions. We shouldn't get carried away. But that promise, especially in the second half, it feels pretty significant, doesn't it?
It really does. And it connects to the bigger picture for Barça this season. The feeling from the debrief was clear. This Barça will do damage. The thinking is, look, they were already a strong team. They seem to have reinforced smartly, even without, perhaps, the massive budgets of some rivals. They look truly dangerous. And the source made that parallel, remembering predictions about talents like Bernal and Casado in previous seasons, predictions that turn out to be pretty accurate. It reinforces the belief in this current group coming through.
Yeah, that track record is hard to ignore. It really speaks to the strength of that La Masia pipeline.
Absolutely. The consistency is remarkable.
Okay, so let's leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on that terrifying theme. Consider these kids we've talked about, Dro, Bardi, maybe others waiting in the wings, coming through La Masia with such impact. What does this relentless wave of young, high-level talent mean for the future landscape of European football? Does this kind of consistent internal talent development start to seriously challenge the narrative around needing massive transfer spending to compete at the very top? How might a seemingly endless pipeline like La Masia potentially shift the balance of power in the sport over the next few years? Something to think about.